Hello, sports fans. Larry Allen here at the KGAS studios. Scott Surratt, the head coach and athletic director of the Bulldogs. Next to me is we're going to visit about the Nacogdoches Dragons into Bulldog Stadium tonight. And incidentally, just for your planning, this will be the last game at Bulldog Stadium until October 21st. In the meantime, we're going to have 3 games on the road and also an open date coming up. So last game at Bulldog Stadium until toward the end of October against the Henderson Lions. Last Friday night, Chapel Hill ranked number 1 in the state in one of the polls. Scott, I saw Argyle in another poll, number 1, and I think Chapel Hill number 3. And no matter how you slice it, one of the top 3A teams in the state, and they came over, and the Bulldogs put on quite a show, almost pulling off the victory against one of the better teams that we'll be playing this year. 21-20 was the final score. And Scott, when I think about this game, I think about us overcoming adversity. Fumbled on the first play of the game, gave Chapel Hill a 43-yard field to work with. Later in the first quarter, one of their punts hits one of our players, and Chapel Hill recovers. They get another short field. They don't score on that possession. 7 drop passes in the game for the Bulldogs, and despite all of that, we played one heck of a ball game, and I guarantee you Chapel Hill knew the next day they had been in a war. I want to get your comments, first of all, on our defense. The defense shut out Chapel Hill for the last quarter and a half in the ball game and gave our offense a chance to come back and bring us back, and of course they did. I thought the defense played very well.
They did play very well. You know, we fumbled the very first snap, and we had a great kickoff return by Dominic Collins and had great field position, and then the play was really open, and we kind of just fumbled. Pipkin fumbled the ball, and they had a short field and went and scored. And, you know, we had a great game plan going in, and they had a great quarterback. And then through a quarter and a half, you know, we were defending him very well and defending their offense. And then the very first play, when he got hurt, the other guy went 40 yards, I think, or something around that yardage, and for a touchdown. And now we had to defend a different team. So we did a good job adjusting, because he's one of the best athletes in East Texas, and I thought we did a great job adjusting to it, and we held a team that scored 65 points a game to 21.
Boy, they've got some depth, don't they? Starting quarterback gets hurt, and they bring in number 16, who is one of their starting wideouts. And boy, that fellow was a outstanding runner, and not too bad of a passer either.
He's a good he's just a great athlete, and he'll do well. You know, you look for those guys not to miss a beat in about 2 or 3 weeks with him at quarterback, and then I think the other quarterback will be back maybe for the playoffs or whatever. But they got lots of talent.
All right, let's talk about your offense. You told us last week you were going to try to limit Pipkin to 15 carries. He had 15 in the first half and wound up with 21 carries for the game, over 100 yards. Blake Bogan shoots over 200 yards again. Bogan, the defense against a pretty good, the offense against a good Chapel Hill defense had another good game.
Well, you know, we missed some opportunities, and Pipkin, we ran him a little bit too much, and then he didn't get to practice Monday or Tuesday with his shoulder down, so that kind of, we were kind of upset that we ran him so much the first half, just because he's not the big durable back. He only weighs about 160 pounds, can run like the wind, but you know, we've got to take care of him better, and that's the reason you saw limited carries in the second half and more in the throwing game. And of course, we got behind also had something to do with that. So, but I thought we moved the ball. We didn't execute times, and we had an unfortunate interception. The guy tipped it up to himself, and just some things that happened that we just didn't get it done. I mean, we like I said, we moved the ball, and we've got to score when we get our opportunities.
Any explanation for drop passes? Do they just happen, or taking the eye off the ball before it gets there, or what causes them?
Well, it's a little bit of experience, except for probably Pope. Pope should never drop a ball. You saw how the great catches he made later, and he was just, after the first couple of drops, it kind of got in his head a little bit. But he should never drop a ball. He's got tremendous hands, and he knows it. But other guys, it's experience. I really believe it's experience, and they'll get better and quit dropping those balls in big situations.
Scott, you've been here 4+ years, and in those 4+ years, there's no doubt that in the time that I've known you, the game that bothered you the most was Liberty Hill, the first playoff game that we lost. In fact, the only one that you've lost here at Carthage. But when I think back on plays that have bothered you, it definitely would be the 2-point conversion at the end of the ball game. I tell you what, I've had so many folks ask me this week about that play. So describe to us, of course, we came back, 31-yard touchdown pass to Ed Pope, ties it up, about 30 seconds to go. No, excuse me, 21-20. We're down by 1, and you elected to go for 2, which everyone that I've talked to said, boy, I agreed with that. Let's get the victory right then. Tell us about your decision to go for 2, and then what happened on the play.
Well, it's a preseason game, number one, and Pope was cramping up a little bit, and Pipkin was banged up and cramping up, and we thought it was our time to go for 2. Let's end this thing in one play, and instead of going on, and maybe get some injuries for later down the road, so we thought it was, or I thought it was the right decision, and we just didn't get the right personnel in. Our extra point team ran out, and that was completely my fault. We should have held them back if we'd had to, rope them or whatever. And I think that caused most of the confusion. And then, but we got everybody out there, and we ran a little special. And we don't ever run specials in preseason unless it's to win a game, and that was to win it. And Michie Bowman, we had him behind the line of scrimmage, just like we did J.D. Hicks, and then just like we did Jalen Claiborne last year. We scored on the same play in the state championship game, and we didn't get Pope on the field, and he's on every. We're going to have our best player on the field for sure when a 2-point play, and he actually would have been a decoy for this play. He is our second option, but I can promise you they would have double or triple teamed him, and it would have been the most open play that we've ever had, but we just didn't get it done. We have no timeouts, and in the future, we Coach Bogan shoots. If we got 10 out there in that situation, then let's take a delay. And then we would, if we'd have took a delay, we would have kicked the extra point and tried to go to overtime. But percentages, we felt like it was a 99% chance we were going to get it, and that particular way they lined up to that particular play. But that percentage went way down. We had 10 on the field, and they really lucked out. The corner didn't have a clue that he snuck over there. He just kind of snuck into him, and the corner would have been covering E Pope. So that's how it ended, and it was completely my fault. And didn't get the personnel out there, and just didn't get it done.
All right, now we did have only 10 on the field. Is that right?
Only had 10 on the field. It was an illegal play, but we snap it so quick so they won't see the guy bend down behind the line of scrimmage. And the officials have no idea how many we had. We could have had probably 15 out there, and they wouldn't have any idea, or 9. You got to have 7 on the line. We only had 6, but they didn't have time to count them.
With Pope on the field, would have been a legal play.
Pope put on the field would have been a legal play, and I think we'd have just had to overthrow it, or it would have been the easiest throw you've ever seen, or we'd have had to drop it. It would have been. I don't know. I wish that. I told somebody the other day, I said, now after my debacle not getting everybody out there, that he would have knocked the ball down on the 4th down and 10. And that was a great play. Now Pope made a great play, and he apologized, and I said, hey, it's my fault. Apologize for nothing. And he was on the bench, when we were calling personnel and everything, but I did tell the team, make no mistake about it, there wouldn't have been an opportunity to go for 2 if it wouldn't been for E Pope. Because he feels terrible about it, but there's no way we get the last 2 touchdowns. He made 2 incredible plays. The play on the 4th and 30 from our own 10 or whatever it was, and then the 4th down and 10 on the 31. But the series before, he made a one-handed catch and ran it all the way down to the 1. So he's a special player for us. He's our go-to guy, and I know everybody knows it. Everybody's doubling him right now. So, but. It was an unfortunate situation, and I take the blame.
Everyone needs a go-to guy, don't they?
We do. Everybody has to have that go-to guy. And honestly, on that play, they knew we were going to him. Everybody in the stadium knew we was going to him, and he wasn't on the field, and he was a decoy, so it would have worked. Like I said, I think I'm positive it would have worked if we'd have got him out there. But again, it was my fault.
Sort of like the last play against Brownwood. Everyone over there at Kincaid Stadium knew who that pass was going to go to. It was going to be Jackson Shipley, and luckily we knocked it away.
Well, we knew it. We had a timeout, and we said, let's let's double him, Jackson, in and out him, and and bracket coverage him, and so we said somebody